Cheers and enjoy the beers. Yes, hello, good evening, and welcome once again. Welcome back to the channel. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to me, a disco, coming at you live with another live stream beer review in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm still moodily calling the Disco Arms. Welcome as ever, popping in. Simo, thanks very much. And Mr. Wilson at the start of the show. Hope you have a Monday beer on to join me for Monday Club. Otherwise, if you haven't, it's not compulsory. And anybody else joining me for a drink along. Nothing particular in this particular stream. Like last week, I had a particular theme. This one is a hastily cobbled together Basta style show. In fact, so hastily cobbled together, I've already done one of the beers. I'll come on to that one in some course, but let's get straight in to the beers. These are, it's called Blue Monday, not because I'm particularly blue. It's not been a great day. I haven't got as much done as I thought I wanted to, and I wasn't quite sure whether I was going to do anything tonight, but then I looked in the old beer stash and I thought, well, there's 3 things I'm not feeling that brilliant about today, but there's 3 blue cans in there, so I thought, let's do Blue Monday with some blue cans. Tenuous link, I know, but these things amuse me. So we'll go straight on to beer number 1, please. And as you might see on thumbnail, beer number 1 is a blue can in the vaguely Bavarian style, because it is a Munich style Helles from friends that we featured before at Lost Cause Brewing, and up just outside of Wakefield in Yorkshire. I picked this one up on an order just before Christmas, like all the others. Haven't actually been back since. I've got too much new on the website. I had a brief look though. Don't mind, obviously, Heller's not massively fast. I've said this before about being on lager, but it's a good one to start on. And of course, as always, talking about start off with a photo. So I can post them up on Instagram tomorrow and do the actual beer reviews like I did today. Finally getting around to doing last week's beer reviews on show number 71, which was all about some beers left in my fridge. Thanks to everybody who popped in on that one. Do some really slightly random beers kind of been left in my fridge, and because my fridge was blown up and given up the ghost, I just wanted to get them drunk and out of the way until I get a new fridge, which is one of the few things I actually managed to do today, is order a fridge. I won't go on about it too much, and I probably won't do any content about it, but it might be a beer fridge. Well, down in one with that one. Straight on the photograph, quite pleased with that, all in focus and view. Quite difficult with the shiny on that can with the gold writing on the green, but we managed it, we made it. I'm still enjoying it for a beer. Superman Fierce Lager, China Lager, called Hometown, very average and too fizzy. Well, now that's the thing, fair enough. I get lagers in, like when I do an order, it's an easy one to do, especially if it's like, you know, Hefeweizen is my preferred. Pilsner's not so bad, especially if it's an adjuncted lager. But I do find them a bit, you're right, samey. They're kind of, there's not much unless you're doing adjuncts or something like that, and even that is hard to do. You know, they can be easy to get right enough, but kind of a bit, yeah, average. They'll kind of taste the same because the recipe profile is pretty much the same. Lager malt and whatever else you want to put in it. It's not always the same. So, and also, as I say, got a Pilsner up at the farm and my brewery, and also got an American lager with a bit of rice in. So, and they're perfectly decent lager. So everything else to me sounds a bit like, yes, all right. Let's see what we got with this one. This is say it's coming from Lost Cause. Mr. B, good evening. Thanks for popping in. Cheers to you. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope everyone had a great weekend. More about that later. Let's do this beer review first of all. Shit, put it in the wrong glass. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Put it in the London glass. Should have for the Yorkshire beer. Should have put it in the Yorkshire glass and my Coles, but never mind. Anyway, the head's dissipating now. Some decent head development as you would expect. Gave a fairly rigorous pour. Quite hazy, and not massive amounts of carbonation racing up the glass. Much darker on camera. I can't see a lot of carb on that. I expect to be a few more bubbles on there, but never mind. Yeah, let's have a sniff. And with that kind of lightness of the lager malt, there's very little aroma. Let's say he's getting Hefeweizen, but Helles is probably the next one, you know, German style Helles. Next one I'll be particularly fussed about behind Hefeweizen and Pilsner. Cheers. Let's get it down. Have a check. See what we get. Cheers. Ooh, that's weird. Yeah. Oddly, much more fizzy on the mouthfeels there. Which is weird because there's no real carbonation racing up that glass. A touch of thinness and water, not quite water, it's such a spring water as I keep saying on the back edge, but not unpleasant. All perfectly balanced. Little bit of citrus coming through. Quite light and quite light and drinkable for a spring evening. It's still reasonably warm out there. I've had a lot of good weather down here this last couple of weeks. Weekend up the farm was absolutely banging. Comfortably busy. Wasn't overly busy, but it was comfortable. A lot of people in, enjoying themselves in the sunshine because we're all outside, playing a few games and doing the food. We opened on a Friday night for practically the first time on a regular basis. So we're going out this month. Friday night slurps in the sunshine. No idea what happened the week after when it's chucking it down, but it was a good one. A lot of people come. Bakery did some new food options and items, chips as well. So that was a really good start to a fairly busy weekend. Saturday I was just on the bar pulling pints all day, and we smashed some totals for this month. Not that we have totals, but yeah, some good numbers. Had a really enjoyable weekend, to be fair, I suppose, in beer terms. Again, nothing to report. Wasn't really doing any beer reviews. It's all my own beer. Didn't get out and see anywhere else. My weekends are becoming fun, busy, but just fun related, really. That's not a complaint. That's mere factoids. Yeah, bit of news, really. Yeah, so yeah, hope you guys all had a great weekend as well. Did some good stuff. Let me know what you got up to. Yeah, nothing much to report, therefore. Nothing, as I say, this is hastily cobbled together, a chance to have a beer and do a beer review. So I can post some stuff up on Facebook because on Instagram, because I haven't really done any content in the last week after last week's show, just because I was at the brewery working. So I've got some new beers coming out, so at least I've got a couple of posts to do on the old Instagram. See a few things around Instagram last week. Bad news, as always, is never good, but I see Hackney Brewery has given up. I know there have been a lot of problems over East London recently. Various breweries having problems with the council there, basically. Hackney Brewery are the next one. They announced last month they're giving up on their tap room. High Hill Tap, due to ongoing problems with London Borough of Waltham Forest. We've got a lot of breweries to answer to over that way. And then after that, 5 days ago, last week, they've just given up entirely, just due to unworkable conditions with the council, rents, etc. I don't know, it's weird. I guess if you haven't got what it takes or the money to just simply up sticks and move to a better site where you've got rent to pay, or probably end up paying more rent because they're still paying off rent from the previous years. Loved what Hackney Brewery do. There was some good stuff. Never got round to their millions of peaches. Love the cans. Again, I just never quite got round to place an order. I'm obviously not getting out to East London these days. But all in due course. They're millions of peaches and they're millions of series, albeit sours, but looked quite good. I missed that one. Days of Rave. Days of Rave, Citrus and Eclipse. No, oh well, never mind. But yeah, so I haven't said what they're doing moving forward. It was a little bit of a shock. So hot on the hills after the tap room closing. And again, a lot of people I spoke to enjoyed everything, all the tap rooms in that area. Although I did see some positive news that East London Brewery had a good deal with Waltham Forest, and I think have expanded either their tap room or their brewing units over Leighton Way. So not all bad news, but still not great. On the hills of Beerable Fish, also that was Waltham Forest as well. Mr. B, lovely Saturday afternoon and evening with Slurpy Dave, Gluggy Duggy, Kegged Up Keith, Red Pineapple, and a visit to Four Priests Brewery. I'm sure I've heard of them, but know nothing about them, where they are, or anything like that. But jolly good weekend, superb. I'm sure a slurp with Slurpy is a good weekend generally, plus the other guys. And some terrible gags. Yeah, superb, great weekend. The other good news, talking about Lost Cause, I did just check. They didn't make the total on their crowdfunder, and I focused on it or featured it a few weeks ago. But they managed to get to 23 grand. They were after 60, so I had thought that they would end up not getting the money, but it seems that, I don't know, maybe 60 was an extended total. I misread it, but yeah, so Lost Cause, they've got some way to funding their own brewery and tap room. I hadn't actually realised they were kind of cookie brewing around the Yorkshire area mostly. So that's at least a start for them in getting some more beers out. Each one of the ones I've had from Lost Cause have been decent, if not more than decent. This one, just as a Hellas lager, as we said earlier, is it's a decent Hellas lager. There's nothing wrong with it. I find, like I say, even Hellas difficult to talk about. Once you've gone past some bready notes, not that much breadiness in this one particularly, not that much malt note. An interesting little pop of kind of lemon droppy kind of citrus going on. It's settled down now to slightly chunkier, smoother kind of beer with, again, slightly savoury kind of roughness to the edges, but easily pretty chuggable. I think Hellas is never going to be like outstanding. It's perfectly decent, solid, sessionable beers. Coming up at 4.8%, feels around about 4 on after 5, so about right. Yeah, so a little bit of roughness on the edges, not perfectly drinkable. That's why I see when I started doing this kind of series of beers, I find that I've started drinking beers just because they fit into a sequence or a theme. I've started buying beers because they fit into a theme. Certainly, coloured cans is a sort of mine for me. I bought a couple of cans the other day with yellow, just because yellow, because it's all yellow. Amused me. I didn't really do that with this one. These ones are sort of collected together. But yeah, what I didn't realise was last week, not the Tuesday, not the last show last week, but last Wednesday. If I'd done a show on a Wednesday, it would have been a year that I've been doing this new live show, Bash the Stash, whatever I get around to calling it. I started out with that and realised it was a bit too much to be keep calling things different things. But yeah, it was a year. So this time last year, Mr. B was on the show, my first ever new live show. I had a little chat with Rob. Thanks for coming in and doing that as ever. We should probably do like some anniversary thing. Give me a shout if you're interested, or I'll give you a shout. Because that was kind of what kicked it off, really. I said, "Oh, do you fancy a chat?" And Rob kindly came over and we drank the same beer. That was good. And then sort of springboarding now. I've not really got enough people on. I was hoping to do a bit more kind of get to know everybody, kind of other creators and stuff like that. But that's just my, I don't know. I don't like sending out those things. Say, "Oh, do you want to come on a show with me?" Mostly in case people say no. Not many people have particularly. But yeah, I need to get more people on for a chat at some point. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's yeah. It inspired me to do short lives a bit. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that because I've been struggling to get videos out because I turn the camera on, start waffling, and think I can hear myself speak. Whereas on the live, I'm still waffling and talking rubbish, but it doesn't matter because I've got people along to interact with and bounce off of and stop me talking utter rubbish. And if nothing else, inspire me and help with questions so that I can speak. Hopefully not rubbish, but yeah. And I'm glad you've done some stuff as well. As I say, enjoyed the one the other week where you reviewed the pair of ale beers. I know you got some more to come. So yeah, cheers, Rob. Superb for that. Yeah, keep up the good work. Keep up the entertaining stuff. I missed the stuff at the weekend that you did, mostly because I was just ploughing away at work. Started about 11, and I really didn't look up till about 3 o'clock when I realised the pizzas had sold out because there was a big group in, so I didn't really get. Well, I did get other food, but not the really good pizzas. And then and then we just ploughed on till like 7. In fact, 8 o'clock, I think we finally stopped up. But so I didn't really get done a lot on Saturday evening. But I'll go back and catch that up during the week at some point. But yeah, I'm glad it's I'm glad it's helped. I'm glad to be of some help, if not the beer reviews. See, easy to slurp that. Good head retention is still going along. Not much lacing on the glass, but kind of good to be busy. Not complaining, definitely, definitely not complaining. Because I enjoy the job, I start to think I need like 8 or 9 days in a week so I can have an extra couple of days where I can actually do stuff. This content thing is a bit addictive, and I'm still bashing away at it. So yeah, can't complain. Also, the other thing is Monday and Tuesdays now being my day off. And it's not that I don't fancy a beer. I generally do, but I spend a lot of time thinking about content and not enough time doing it. And on a Monday and Tuesday, when the weather's been nice for the last few weeks, really want to get out and do some out and about kind of content, beer garden, stuff like that, pubs, etc. And although I can go out and do the content, I have the time, I'm also aware in the back of my mind I won't have time to edit it. I've still got 5 videos to edit from last year that probably will never get done. In fact, one's irrelevant now. I'm gonna have to redo it. I've still got 3 disco day videos to finish. They got a bit complicated, but there you go. That's before I can get round to the next disco day. Still looking out for beers on that one. Thanks to Mr. Wilson for sending me one the other day. It was one that I had before about 3 or 4 disco days ago, and it must have been 4 disco days ago because I've still got 3 in the pipe to do, and it wasn't on that. But would have been nice up there in the frozen north. Windy as hell. Is that the food? Yeah, we had quite a lot. Where we are down on the bottom of a hill, it kind of blows around the hill. Even if it's not that windy elsewhere, it's kind of seats up. But then it's always kind of windy up there, isn't it? Realised today that beers in your yeah, little things amuse me. I do put the thumbnail and the picture of the beers. I don't know. It's just an intro thing to, for some amusement for people who actually notice. Yeah. So a year in, I don't think I did that early days. Maybe I did. I have to go back and look at some point. But yeah, yeah, these things develop over time, don't they? And I'm like, it amuses me today. It takes me kind of 5 minutes now. I just drop the thumbnails in the pictures into the same thing. Like I say, it did take me a lot last week to go around changing all the pictures on the Rasko and Disco pictures, and I think I've got them. Oh no, I still haven't done this one, have I? Have I? No, I didn't. No, I've still got to do them. I'm not going to have time to do that this week. I've still got a quiz to write for Sunday. I'll try and do that tomorrow. And yeah, then I'm brewing. I'm brewing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think. What is the plan? Yeah, 3-day brew day this week. Because yeah, need to get the beers back on the rack, kind of running out, and get new beers brewed as well. Allegedly one on the big kit. We'll see. Hopefully, you never know. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you that. It's not really like industrial espionage out, but yeah, that's just my week. I'm gonna be far too busy with brewing. Cheers. Let's knock this one back and get on to the next one. I might have been a bit harsh about that, saying it's just an okay lager. It was quite drinkable, pretty delicious, light. It would be fairly refreshing. I always use that word hesitantly for refreshing about a lager, especially as it's my first beer up. It's always going to be refreshing in the first beer, and yeah, don't know. Anyway, enough of that. See, I'm waffling again. Right, let me find my things. Right, back here on the badly unchanged photograph. The old photo is beer number 2, please. Beer number 2 is an unusual one and something I knew nothing about. I only got it because of the name. I quite like the can artwork. It's called Come As You Tart, which sounds like a pun on a song title. Come As You Are. Come As You. I'm not going to sing it. I did try singing the other week. So that's kind of what attracted me to it. I knew nothing about the brewery, which is apparently called Moot Brew. I randomly picked this one up, I think before Christmas when I was visiting Paul up at Creative Juices, and he was saying about it, and I thought, well, I'll try it, give it a go, and I've not quite got around to it. It is a Blackberry pastry sour at 6%, hence the name Come As You Tart. And as you know, I quite like a madly coloured red beer, and that is definitely a very red, big sparkly on the head development. So let's get the picture out of the way quickly before that dissipates, because it sounds like that kind of sparkle is going to dissipate real quick. It's holding there for now, hopefully in time. Really shiny on the can. Yeah, the hedge attention is going already. As always, I need to get the lights away. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so as I say, 6% Blackberry Pastry Sour, which is a term I'm still not massively familiar with. So let's see what we get. Got a palate refresh. Yeah, a big kind of ice lolly kind of thing going on with that. Big ice lolly, fruit ice lolly kind of aroma as well in a way. That kind of fruitiness. Oh no, Isaiah, yeah, after a year of shows and 71 shows in a year, that's more than one a week, isn't it? I should really know that by now. Yeah, so I finally actually remembered that one. Got it in quick before the head dissipated. What you've gone for next? As I say, this one, Moot Brew, come as you Tart, 6% Blackberry Pastry Sour. Yeah, quite good fruity notes, kind of blackberry, also a little blackcurrant thing going on as well. Anyway, cheers, let's get straight into it. No, don't. That's not negative, by the way. I'm just picking up all the flavours there. Blackberries can be funny. I like blackberries. Got a massive patch down the end of the garden in the summer when they've just had a little drop of rain and the right amount of sunshine. They can be absolutely juicy and fruity. And every now and again, you get one little sharp one that kind of not ruins it, but just cuts across everything. That's kind of what this does. It kind of, obviously, with a sour, it's going to be that kind of tart blackberryness. So it's still got them kind of ice lolly. Do you remember those? I can't remember what they were. They were from Mum went to Iceland as a kid and bought them the cheapest lollies possible. And some of them used to have double sticks you could break apart, and they had like lemonade, and I'm sure there was a blackberry one. That's kind of what it's got. Not weakness in terms of water or anything, but it charges headlong towards tart and sour, and it kind of gets pulled back a little bit, which makes it more drinkable. I'm not really sure about the pastry. It's not really pulling on like blackberry crumble or nothing like that. I'm not particularly getting the pastry element. It's not a bad thing. There's a kind of smoothness there, I guess, and definitely a big fruit note. There's plenty of fruit in that. Do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to have a look at the can on the first one. We'll come back to that. Again, 71 shows in, a year in, you'd think I'd know what I was doing and do the same thing each time, or at least remember it. So let's have a look, see what we get on this one. I'm off to source in the week for a while now, fair play. Trying to get back shifting some timber, found it creeping back on with a few beers in the week. Yeah, easily done. Easily done. Let's see, drinking on a Monday night is not compulsory. I just do it because I have to go to work tomorrow. I haven't been to work today. It's kind of my weekend. So yeah, fair play. But obviously, I'm here for that. Presume you mean simmer. Is it lactose in beers? Yeah, it can be a thing. I'm fine as far as I know with lactose. I like the can wrap, the little kind of blackberry. I'm not sure if that's in the sky or in the sea, but say love the beer name, come as you Tart. Let's see what we've got to say, because I know nothing about Moot. Moot, to me, M-O-U-T, is a cider company from New Zealand. And they actually say it's pronounced Moot. So unless this is Moet, I think it's Moot. Sweet short-crust pastry and biscuits on the nose, followed by a whack of tart Kentish blackberries. Some sediment is normal. Drink chilled and fresh. Well, I got this before Christmas, so it's fresh-ish. Has got lactose in it. Fair enough. Doesn't come through massively. It's not massively smooth, but it's not like rough or anything either. Inverted sugar syrup and sodium bicarbonate, ammonium bicarbonate, and salt. Well, the salt you kind of expect takes it towards a kind of a ghost. Not a clue what those other two are. Ammonium bicarbonate doesn't sound like a good thing to me. I'm not that good with science. No more so than sodium bicarbonate. Or is that some kind of... Well, I suppose it is a natural chemical, sodium and carbon. But yeah, I don't know if I like that really. Anyway, doesn't matter. That must be to keep that tartness. But then you don't need that to keep the tartness if it's like kettle sour, or is it soured by that, not the yeast? Really weird. Got plenty of oats in it along the side of the lactose, so it should probably be sweeter and sweeter, but there you go. Fresh hand picked with care from Clockhouse Farm, Coxheath, Maidstone. Brewed by Moot Brew Co. at Pilgrims Road, Upper Halling, Rochester. So off near Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, obviously being in Kent. Best before, don't have to look at the bottom, it's here on the side of the can. The 30th of the 6th, 2025. Sometimes I forget we're bloody 2025. How did that happen? Yeah, so some unusual ingredients I'm not sure about. Maybe that's perfectly fine and natural. I don't know. It just sounds a bit weird. I mean, it could be to do with like water profile or something. I think the oats and lactose come through a little bit now. There is that kind of smoothness in the middle, and then the tartness of the blackberries kind of peaks a bit towards the end. It rounds that tartness out a little bit. So it's not. That's what I say. It kind of dives towards full sourness and gets rounded off, comes back a bit. I suppose there's a bit of blackberry pie in there, a little bit, I guess. I struggle sometimes with sours. I mean, I'd rather it just be a fruit beer, not have to be a sour. You get this tartness from the blackberries anyway. So yeah, it's really, again, summer's day, bit of sunshine, mid-session. I'd put a fruit sour in. You know, it's something I'd have a half on if I was at the bar. That's something I'd massively go back to. Like I say, I don't know anything about Moot. I'm sure Paul was raving about them, obviously because he got them in the cans in for the fridges at Creative Juices. I've been up there for a while. I've got to get back there in the sunshine as well. This one I want has apple, cinnamon, nutmeg listed on the can. A bit thin and no real beer character. Maybe a bit too cold. Apple's always a difficult one because apple often ends up being an off note in some beers, not without the addition of any apple. I'd try that though, cinnamon, nutmeg. Sounds good. Who's it from? What's that about? I like the sound of it. I say I always like the sound of sours, and then like often it goes a bit like, yeah, it's all right, but I'm struggling with it. I'm not struggling with this one. The fruit note is good. The fruit note really brings it through. I don't get particularly any of those notes on the aroma. Pastry and biscuits on the nose. Not particularly. It's good stuff though. It's good stuff. Let's quickly, whilst I think about it, I did line this up because I've not looked at the website. Let's have a look at Moot because I've not heard much. I'm sure I've seen them on Instagram at some point, but I know very little apart from what I've just found out. So we are Moot, proudly independent micro, fair play. We brew hop-forward small batch beers in the heart of Kent, always with locally sourced ingredients and the best Kentish hops. Well, fair play, you are best placed for that sort of thing. The Garden of England, what I used to call Kent, with all the stuff growing down that way, including easy access to hop farms. So we see a bit more about. Set in the beautiful Kent Downs, our microbrewery is situated right in the heart of Court Farm, a regenerative arable farm. Obviously, being normally on a farm myself with the brewery, I can identify with that. Although outside the M25, I guess they are in Maidstone, but all good nonetheless. Our beers are all designed, brewed and packaged on site. We're passionate about brewing beer that's good for the planet. We work in partnership with Court Farm to recycle or reuse all our waste products. We strive to source all our ingredients from suppliers as local as possible to drive a community-driven circular economy. As a rule, all our beers showcase the best of English hops, paired with hops from all over the world. Probably not so on this one. I should imagine I don't say what the hops are. Probably a bit of Bramley Cross or something. Yeah. Probably no need for a lot of hops in this one, being a sour. The fruit is mostly doing the work. Let's see what they got on the lineup. Current beer selection. Kind of like the can artwork, fairly simple. And all the details I want on the front of the can, possibly except the brewery logo. So those new ones there, they've put the brewery logo, which looks much better. Milk stout. Good pricing. It's called Sometimes. That's a good song, if you know what I mean. If you know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure about a beer called Butter, but it's a double IPA, 8%. Mochaca, Cryo, Ukino, Cryo Mosaic, and Sabro. Unusual way around they put that. Yeah, really unusual, but I like that camera out there. It does look quite smart, I think. It's a dipper, so I've been trying a few more dippers. Oh, hang on, hello. Hold on a minute. Crusade Gingerbread Belgian Double. I think £4, come down from £5, called Crusade. Scent of warm ginger comes first in the aroma of this Belgian-styled beer. On a palate, it's complex caramel, dark fruit, and gingerbread from ginger nut biscuits that went into the mash tun. Nice. I very much like the sound of it. I don't know about you guys. Sticky toffee stout. Got a Heller's lager. I'm really liking what I'm seeing, to be fair. Got another one about butter. Utterly Butterly. So the single version of that. 3.4%. Screwjob. A wee heavy. There's some good beers on. Love a wee heavy. Some kind of game related stuff, I think. Got a bit more, got a bit more game or cartoonified with that one. Razz Up the Jam. Razz Up the Jam is a Pilgrim. They've got a beer called Pilgrim. Bugger, I'm going to have to get that. I've got a beer called Pilgrim at Hackney Brewery, and I want to get Pilgrim Brewery beers in. I can't be buying more beer. I've got 3 lined up. It's a raspberry porter. Interesting. So I could definitely spend some money. A green labelled stout. I've been looking for a stout with a green label to do if I do another one before the football. Oh, bollocks. I'm going to have to buy these beers, aren't I? Mersey. We've got a beer called Mersey. Look at that. I can go back to Mersey beers and go, Adam, because he's been messaging me about disco named beers. So I can say to him, look, I've got a beer for you, mate. Oh, I'm pleased about that. It's a Schwarzbier as well. Nice black lager. Happy with that. Shooty Bang, like the name. Parallel. I've caused myself a little bit of trouble here. I want to buy these beers, but I definitely said I wasn't going to be buying too much more beers recently. But there you go. More fierce beer. I think I know which one that is. Yeah, I'm working my way through the fierce beer box. Superb. I've got a fierce beer in. I got it in the other week. Yeah. So I'm. Yeah. I might have caused myself a little bit of issues because I like that lineup. You know, when you look at a beer and think, "Oh, I'll try that." Yeah. There's some discounted stuff there, so I wonder if they're kind of end of line kind of stuff. Which again is never going to bother me, but I haven't said why they're discounted. But yeah, I'm gonna keep that link and send that to Adam at Mersey Beers. I don't think he's in tonight, but yeah, I found a beer for you, Mersey. Cheers, Adam. There you go. I haven't found a disco beer, but I love it when that happens. I love it, I love a good name related thing. So, right, okay. Cheers, Rob. Mr. Reeves, googling ammonium bicarbonate, and it's odd one for beer. Okay, it can stabilize pH. I can't imagine it's in enough of an amount to need to mention as an ingredient, because it's a lot of a lot of breweries do like pH stabilization or water adjustment, but they don't necessarily need to add it as an ingredient, because it's not an ingredient. It's whatever the equivalent of an ingredient is that it's an active thing rather than an actual ingredient, like adjuncts or hops, etc. Really strange. Safety. Ammonium bicarbonate is sold only to professional users and requires careful handling. Well, yeah. I think I know what that is, and I'm surprised they list it as an ingredient. It's not necessarily as unsafe as it sounds. Therefore, it's just like you say, a bit of water stabilization or water acidity regulator. I don't know if that's because the acidity of the water or the acidity of the sourness of the beer or the fruit or what. Not sure. Yeah, interesting. Had 3 of their beers, enjoyed them all. 2 guests in Beer Mungle, Screwjob and Wheateeth, superb, and Brew London in Pickled Routine. So I have seen them about. I looked through the Brew London list, so I must have seen them. I just don't remember looking them up or anything, but I'm kind of glad I have, although it could cause me some issues. But I do want those 2 beers, and I'm going to send it to Adam. Send the link to Adam and see what he says. Yeah, I like it when it happens. I don't think this is probably not their best looking beer. I think if I'd seen that on the website, I mean, again, it's just a name. I love an amusing name, Come As You Tart. I think it's a play on Come As You Are because it's a sour beer. But yeah, it's a little cloying now on the sour. Sometimes sours do that, a little drying right at the end, but it's still got that. It has got that kind of pastry. No, I've described it as like ice lolly, like ice pop kind of vibe going on. But the fruit content is good. The blackberries in it, superb. It's very similar to a beer we did called Very Berry that was blackberry. Again, we try and put some wild blackberries in, which will, I think, probably do that again this year. But yeah, this one's much sharper, much tarter than our one. But yeah, I want to do a pun about it being a moot point, but I haven't really been able to shoehorn that one in. Let me just take a step back because I forgot I do like looking at the can info. I do like the can design on that one, that kind of Bavarian thing. Yeah, for Lost Cause, the Hellers. Kastenbrau, Munich style Hellers. Is there any other kind of Hellers? Well, yes, there is. Depends where you brew it, but anyway, clean, crisp, refreshing. Do you know what? Crisp and clean wasn't normally what I say about Pilsner, with that crispness. Not so much with Hellers, but they're not wrong. It's fair enough. True to style, this smooth and mellow Bavarian style this Bavarian lager style is full-bodied and deliciously crisp. At Lost Cause, beer is our passion. We mix styles, explore new hops, and celebrate quality and creativity. With a Brews, you're not just getting great beer, you're joining a vibe. I hate the word vibe, but yes, I know what they mean. That's all about celebrating good beer and good times. There we go. So Wakefield address though, so not necessarily Cookery Brewing. Obviously, 4 standard ingredients on that. Oh, here we go. 18th of the 3rd, 25, but it's a lager, so that's fairly nominal. Like I say, I bought them just before Christmas, so they've been maybe sitting around a little bit, but you know. Little clues at the vegetable oil as well. Not sure where that worked. Vegetable oil. Does it say that? No. Oh, it does say that. Yeah, I missed that one. Lactase, vegetable oil. Why is there vegetable oil? See, the sugar, inverted sugar syrup. Fair enough. Yeah, it's a really weird list of ingredients. Why is there vegetable oil? What? Yeah. I'm not sufficiently intelligent enough to even suggest where. I mean, I don't know enough about it, despite doing it on a regular basis. Stuff don't stick. But yeah, yeah, that's really weird. Yeah. It's not in anything to fry up beforehand or something like that. But yeah, why would you want oil in a beer? How does it emulsify? How does it not just sit on top of a liquid? How do you mix oil, vegetable oil into a liquid? And why? Again, sounds like a small amount has gone in to do something specific, but we don't know what. And if you don't know what, you know more about this shit than me, so I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going to get, yeah, really weird. I'm going to knock this back, which is fairly doable, even as a 6%. Sour. A bit of a wince on that, but yeah, pretty decent. Pretty decent. Yeah, a nice, solid enough, if unusual, bit weird, sour. Maybe it's not a kettle sour, maybe it's a mix. Anyway, yeah. I'm not going to second guess. I make myself look ridiculous. All right, on to a quick finish with beer number 3, please. And beer number 3, for those that remember, all the way back to show number 19, I found out, looking back earlier. No, sorry, show number 16. It's even worse. I've already done this beer. It's from a double barreled, and it's a Whippet American Porter. And in a bit of a rush to hastily cobble together some kind of show tonight, this was sitting there in the middle, and I thought I'd already done that one, and rather than actually checking, it was the only other blue one I could find, and it was certainly the only blue darker beer. I do like to finish on some kind of stout or porter, and it was the only one I had, so I did it anyway. And then I was just before the show, as I was looking through the thing, I realised I already had. So, having left it 8 months, I'll do the photo and then decide whether to do the post on Instagram again. I imagine I'll end up saying the same thing about it. Obviously, we can check by going back into it and having a look, see what I said last time. But just, yeah, I like to finish on a porter. So let's do it anyway. Why not? Don't matter. We're 2/3 in now. Yeah, I'm going to just put this down out of the way. Despite the fact it's always harder to photograph a porter, I still do them. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's an American porter. I don't know the Americans in tonight, never mind. Fairly bubbly on the port, and that head, despite being quite bubbly or probably because it's quite bubbly, has dissipated fairly quickly. That might be because of the glass. Put it in the Indie Rebel glass because Double Barreled are only down the road. I believe they're friends. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about this Indie Rebel glass, you know, in that shape. It's like I said about the Brass Castle one; it was the same shape. I'm not sure it helps the beer. I prefer the taller, thinner business. Don't know why, just me. But Indie Rebel glass is R8. So let's see what we get this time, and then let me see what I got last time and whether I'm talking any sense or not. Little bit of biscuitness on the nose, but my nose is suddenly starting to block up a little bit. Oh, I do bear with. Let's have another go at that. Yeah, a bit better. It does smell a little, I don't know if you can say it smells a little thin, but it's kind of not massive strength on the aroma. Let's get it down my neck. I'll quickly check, see what we got. Cheers. All right, it's difficult. Following that one off, that sour is probably difficult. Still getting some odd notes. That's my bad. There's a strong kind of coffee roasty note going on. But thinking back to last week's show with that Barney's porter, that was immense. I'm not getting that wow moment from this. Yeah, definitely a nice roasty kind of coffee kind of note. Not a lot of chocolate, not a lot of bourbon biscuits. That's what I would say I want to get out of pour. Yeah, a little thin on the body, not compensated by the chocolatey coffee roasty notes. Quite dark, kind of bitter chocolate notes, but not, again, that Barney's one was going towards kind of cakiness. This isn't. It's not even going towards bourbon biscuits. Again, that might be my bad because I'm following it from the sour, and also it's 8 months old. Because let's see. See what I said about it before. And of course, Mr. Wilson, you're on there. I had Whippet a couple of years ago, thought it was okay. I think that might be the best I can say, really. This is okay, it's perfectly drink. I had Whippet a couple of years ago, thought it was okay. Yeah, it is okay. It's not standing out as a big number. Again, it's possibly difficult after those two. I had gone, what was it? Double IPA West Coast, which is probably better than following a sour. Also put it in a different glass because I thought it might be kind of rich and decadent, and I don't think it is, but there's a thinness to it, but it's like all the other pours. It's perfectly decent. I'd want to try it, or maybe on tap, perhaps. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. I'll catch you either on yours or on here the next time. I'm not sure. I might do one on Wednesday. I'm not working on Wednesday, but I want. Yeah, what's that? It's gone from okay to reasonable. It's not standing out. There's no wow moments to it. I say it's difficult after that fruity kind of sour business. wants to be a bit thicker. Yeah, there are better ones out there, I suppose. There's a little bit more biscuitiness there going on now. It's going towards, yeah, there's a little bit more chocolatey now. I think off that Blackberry. I mean, sometimes in a porter you get that kind of fruity note, like I did last week with that Barney's one. That was a kind of blackberry plum, kind of dark fruit note. Not so much with that, with this one. Drinkable enough. Yeah, I think I've said that a lot about double-barreled. I've looked, promises so much, and just is okay, just is all right. Again, it's difficult drinking them like from a can at home on a Monday night compared to it if you was at the tap room or whatever drinking it on draft. I'd rather be doing that, obviously, but it's a good indication. I say it's a good enough porter. It's got that kind of slight roastiness, developing chocolate. Oh, I wonder what I said. This is going to take me ages to find. Scrolling back through 8 months worth on Instagram, but whilst I'm just going to sit and scroll whilst I carry on drinking. See where we get back to. Yeah, like I say, that kind of chocolate is developing a little bit on the next mouthful. It's not heavy. And yeah, it's kind of different bouncing off that sour, but it's one that's, yeah, it's sitting okay. Yeah, let me know when you see it. Yeah, no, you're right. Stout after sour is an interesting move. That's why I'm chugging the water to try and get that blackberry and the sour note out the palate, but kind of unsuccessful. So I'm maybe being a little harsh there. No worries, man. Being a little harsh maybe, but I'm just scrolling back. A is a way to see what I've done. B, seeing how far I can get back to see what I said about it last time. Wow. So that's definitely this time last. Really? Okay. God, there's some good photos, some good beers. I like looking back at this kind of stuff. It's like, oh yeah, remember that one. Don't know if everybody else enjoys it or not. Oh, there's that. Was it Indie Rebel? I'm slowing down. All right, here we go. There we go. So this is what we said last time. I've actually not reviewed it. Review to follow. I wonder if that's because I kind of ran out of words. I was like, it's okay, and I'll come back and yeah, I had lots of words in the other ones. And that one, just, yeah, it was all right, but didn't actually get around to going back to it. American Porter, I don't necessarily know what makes it an American Porter. It doesn't stand out as massively hoppy in that direction. So, having listened to what I said on the YouTube, and it was just all right. It's just all right again this time. That's how it goes with beer reviewing, isn't it? It's just sort of like, yeah, it's all right. No, it's developing nicer and more chocolatier. There is a little bit of dark fruit note, and I don't know whether that's the beer or coming through from the previous one. But that's been my day up and down, really. That's why I've called it Blue Monday. Good beers. It's just been all right. it's been interesting. Yeah, that's it. That's Blue Monday done, really. I'm going to go and think about actually doing the write-ups for these three so I can post them tomorrow. May or may not do a show tomorrow. Not entirely sure. I've got a lot of work to do, mostly all the stuff I didn't do today, including writing that quiz for Sunday. It's got better as it gone down. Still don't think it's in the right glass, but there you go. Yeah, so not the most amazing of shows, but you guys coming along for the ride is always fantastic, and dropping in as always with loads of info and chat. You have been brilliant. So yeah, a year on in, still doing the same thing, onwards and upwards, or at least vertically. Keep going. Simo, Mr. Wilson, Rob, thanks for popping in and joining me. You've been fantastic. I've been Disco. As always, if you're watching this after the event, after the live stream, do me a favor, click like, subscribe, and pop some comments down the bottom about these beers or my general ignorance about beers. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Have a great week. I may or may not see you all tomorrow for some more beers. Whatever you do, whatever you get up to, have a good one. Trying to be blue. Enjoy the beers. Cheers.